Alright everybody, today we are looking at doing an ear pad and scrim replacement for the Bose QC35s and the QC45s. We're doing them at the same time because they use the same ear pads and the same design of scrim, so the installation and the replacement is exactly the same. So if we look at the back of the ear pad, you can see there is a little rim on the back. It's like a foamy kind of plasticky type thing. And then you can see that it edges out on the sides like this. You can see the little edge right there. So that little edge ends up getting put underneath some plastic clips here on the actual inside of the headphone frame here. So you can see these clips right there. There's one, another one, another one, another one. It goes all the way around. There's about 10 of them. The scrim here, also known as a hair screen, is basically just there to protect the speaker from getting any dirt, dust, etc. inside of it. And these are easily removed as well. You can just basically peel them from the top here. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is remove the ear pads from the headphones, and that's nice and easy. You're just going to take your pointing finger and your thumb, you're going to pinch the ear pad, and you're just going to pull up, and they come off. You need about medium force to remove them. And the second one, and they're off. Okay, the next step is removing these scrims or the hair screens, whatever you like to call them. Everybody calls them something a little bit different. It's nice and easy. You're just going to go to the top here and you're going to get a hold of the material like this, and you're just going to pull down. They're attached by a thin piece of adhesive tape, and you'll see that the tape is ripping away from the back of the scrim. That's fine. And you're just going to do it like that, and that's that. And now you can see that little piece of adhesive tape came off on this side, but the other side, it took the foam on the back with it, and that's right there. No big deal. We'll fix that later. Now that we have removed the scrims and the speakers are out in the open, you don't want anything water type or liquidy around here, and you want nothing going into there. So be careful with all of this. Key thing to know when you are putting in the new scrims, if you've removed both of them and you don't know which side is which, the side that has the Bose logo with the Bluetooth and power on button is the right side. Okay, so now that the scrims have been removed, we now need to get rid of this old adhesive tape and whatever else is in there, clean it up a bit, because when we apply the new scrims, they're going to use other adhesive tape and it's not going to stick to a bunch of gunk that's left over. So if you've bought ear pads from us, Accessory House Global, inside the box you will get this little tool. This tool is used for scraping off that adhesive and also used for helping install the ear pads. So what you can do, but if you haven't bought our ear pads and you don't have this tool, you don't have to use it. It just helps with getting it a little bit cleaner. So I'll show you what I mean. So you just take the edge, you can see that little edge right there, it's a little bit sharp, and you're just going to push it down onto the foam that's here, and basically it starts to lift. And there you go. Now we do have some left over here. That's just extra sticky stuff. What you can do is you can use your finger and just rub that stuff so that it gets a bit dirty and a bit more easy to remove. And now you take it again and you can go either way with this, up, down, etc. And you'll see that you can get a bit more of that off. It's not going to be perfect, but you will get some more off. Now, at this point in time, you can see there is a little bit of stuff there. That won't affect the new adhesive that's going to go on, so you can leave it like that. But if you are particular about this and you want to clean it fully, what you can do is you could probably use a damp cloth or like an antibacterial wipe that's damp. Key word being damp. It's not wet because we don't want anything wet going into here. And you want to be very careful and just use that cloth from this side, wiping that. off a little bit, getting a little bit of water on there. And it'll probably come off a little bit more, but it might not be perfect, so it might not be worth it, basically. Now, you can also just go over to this other side here, and you could just use your finger and do it. So I can see the tape right here. I can use my fingernail. So if you don't have this blue stick, you can use your fingernail to create an edge on that leftover adhesive, and then just pull it off like this. Now, the stuff on the edges here, not anything really to worry about because it's not on top of any electronics. It's when you have some leftover stuff down here, like I do, or down here, because that's getting in towards that speaker area. So now, you can do the same thing. You can use your fingernail, or you can use the blue stick. I'm going to use my fingernail because it's a little bit easier, and I don't really want to poke stuff on this metal ribbon here. So I'm just going to use my finger, get that edge, peel it off. There it is. And you can see that it's now gone and it's completely clean. What you're going to look at now is on the back here, there's some adhesive that we're going to peel off, and we're going to attach to this area and obviously down here in this area. It's the same areas that you just peeled the other gunky stuff out of. So the one thing you do want to pay attention to though is the edges here. So if you see where these edges right there are, you can see it looks like there's a little gap right there. That's where that ear pad back rim will fit into, and it sits on top of. So when you put the scrim on, you can't have any of this material covering any of this stuff on the outer edges here. Because if it does, when you go to install the ear pad, there won't be enough room with that material in the way and with the ear pad rim going underneath those little clips. It won't fit. So very important to pay attention to that. Now, an easy way to align the edge of the scrim here is to, excuse me, if you look here on the plastic, you can see there's the outer edge there, but then you can see this plastic here, there's a little tiny line where the two different types of plastic are meeting. That little tiny line right there is the exact spot you want to line up the edge of your scrim with. So it looks like that. We're going to go to that flat edge of the scrim. We're going to peel off that adhesive tape. And we're going to line this up with that edge that we see here. It's like the plastic that's not bumpy or has no, it's like very flat. And I'm just going to line it up and I'm going to dab it slightly. Now I'm going to push this in and I'm going to see, is it fitting into place? It looks to me like this is fitting into place because nothing is covering up that edge. So I'm going to go flip this over and I'm going to remove the other set adhesive tape. Now you got to use your nail for this usually because you don't want to pull the whole thing off. So you can see that black tape there. That's going to stick. And now I'm just going to push that in. And that is in place now. And I'm going to put pressure on here. Like that. And then just a little bit down here. And we're all done. Okay, so installing the ear pads. We're going to be installing the new version of the AHG QC35 and 45 ear pads on these headphones. And basically, just to recap, when we did our pre-installation, you have your clips all around the inside of the headphone frame. And we have our edge of our ear pad right here, which is going to go underneath those clips. Now, the way I like to do this is I'm going to start at the top and the bottom, and once those are in place, so first of all at the top, the edge will just slide straight under, but then every clip after that you're going to need to use your thumb, and you're going to push down into the rim, and it will snap under the plastic clips. So we have 10 clips in total. Now I've attached the top and the bottom, and it's going to stay in place. So that's good. So that frees our hands up a bit and allows us to work a bit more without having to hold on to stuff. So we've done the top and the bottom first. We now want to do the corners. And we leave the sides for last. And the reason why we want to leave the sides for last is because the most space is on the sides, and if for any reason something goes wrong, etc., you have much more ability to manipulate the back rim of the ear pad from the sides compared to a smaller place like on the end. So we'll just go to the top corner here, and we're just going to push down. You can hear that one snap in. Now to the bottom corner, snapped in. Flip it around, other top corner here. Oh, that one's already in, lucky. And then we go to the bottom corner over here, and you hear that one snap in. So now we only have the sides left. You can see that the rim is poking up a bit. So we're just gonna go 1 and 2. And then the last 2 are on this side, and one's already in, which we didn't hear snap in place. All right. That one is in, no problemo, as you can see. Right, the last thing you can do is you can take this installation tool, and you're going to use the little edge right here, and it's just to make sure that the actual rim is under in every position. You're going to just look and see. So I can see here, looking, I can see clips under, clip, 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 clip. These are all clipped in perfectly fine. However, if they weren't, or what you could do is also take this edge right here, and you're going to push it into the rim close to the ear pad. It's hard to show this one, but push it in close to the ear pad, and then you slide it underneath the clip. And that kind of pushes the rim further towards the edge. So it goes like this, and it pushes it like that. And you do, if you need to, you do that, and it helps to secure them if they aren't fully secured. Okay, we're going to problem solve a bump, and then what a bump is when the rim underneath the ear pad sticks up like this. You can see that rim right there sticking up outside of the housing. And basically this is an easy fix. Usually the reason why this would happen is simply because you snapped in some of the clips, or the rim underneath some of the clips, but it's not fully underneath, and as you go around snapping in other clips that aren't also fully underneath, the last bit of the rim that needs to go under is a bit too big because the rest of the space hasn't been taken up under the other clips. So the easy way to fix this is basically you have the rim right there. You're just going to push down, and you're going to push your fingers out like that a few times, pushing down, medium force out. What that's going to help do is move that space, or move that rim in the other directions, and kind of fill that space. Then you should be able to snap it in place. So we have another bump over here, and if I push this down and spread it around, now that should move a little bit over there, and then snap, snap. All good.